So today I'm going to be discussing the quiet revocation. Why is the US Embassy silently canceling Nigerians' visas? I read this from Premium Times Nigeria. Credit to Premium Times for this piece. It was published today, September 1st, 2025. Happy New Month, everyone. So, as it says, this is a quiet crisis with devastating human costs. Careers are disrupted. So imagine somebody who has, planned to go to the US. They've gotten a job, and all of a sudden, the US Embassy has cancelled their visas. Families are torn apart. Yes, of course, because husband is going to meet wife, wife is going to meet husband, children are going to meet their parents, grandparents are going to take care of grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Dreams are deferred. Yeah, dreams are deferred because some people, that's their dream to go to the US. Now that dream has been deferred. Maybe to another country, maybe still to the US. Time will tell. But definitely at that point in time, that person will feel their dreams are deferred. What about the money that they've also spent? And yes, dignity is diminished. Yes, and some people have done parties, have told a lot of people they are traveling to the US, and all of a sudden they find out that their US embassy has cancelled their visas. Let's read this together. At its core, this issue is more about visas. It's about fairness, reciprocity, and human dignity. Nigerians deserve to know why their travel rights are being revoked. If the US government has legitimate grounds, these grounds must clearly be stated. Cryptic references to new information are not enough between two nations that claim to be partners. Look at that. Look at that, guys. In recent weeks, an unsettling trend has quietly unfolded. The US Embassy in Nigeria has begun revoking valid visas. Valid visas, guys. Valid visas previously issued to Nigerian citizens. This is not rumor or speculation. Dozens of affected Nigerians, professionals, entrepreneurs, and frequent flyers have received formal letters instructing them to submit their passports at the consulate in Lagos or Abuja, only to have their visas unceremoniously cancelled. Trump effect. Some of these people actually submit, they were supporting Trump, obviously not in a voting capacity. Imagine you supported Trump and then you applied for visa, you got your visa, only to now be told to submit your passport, and then they canceled your visa. A visa that you've paid for. Question is, are they going to get their money back? Anyway, let's keep going. What makes this development even more alarming is the veil of silence surrounding it. I've personally reviewed at least 8 such cancellation letters, according to this piece. The notice cites Title 22, right? Code of Federal Regulations, Section 41.122 as a legal basis, vaguely stating that new information has became available after the visa was issued. What is this new information? Why can't they spell it out? What is this new information that became available after the visa was issued? Beyond that, nothing was explained. No evidence is shared. No avenue for appeal is offered. Recipients are merely advised to reapply if they wish, an instruction that provides no comfort to those suddenly stripped of their mobility. What about the money they've paid? For many, this is not just about stamps on a passport. These visas are lifelines for education, family, reunions, medical treatment, guys. Some people are going for medical treatment and critical business. To have them snatched away without explanation is to live lives suspended in confusion and despair. Among those affected is a prominent Nigerian journalist, the head of a federal parastatal, scheduled to deliver an international address, and a respected Abuja entrepreneur with a spotless travel record. Each had to abruptly cancel engagements, refund tickets, and explain to partners abroad why they could no longer show up. In some cases, the humiliation has been unbearable. Travelers discovering at the airport, sometimes even at the boarding gates, that their visas had been quietly invalidated. A few were briefly detained by immigration authorities before being sent home in shame. This is sad, guys. Sad. These are people who never overstayed their visas, never violated immigration rules, and never raised red flags. So what changed? The wave of cancellations appeared to reflect an unspoken tightening of US visa policy toward Nigerian travelers. Since the late 2010s, Washington has steadily increased the scrutiny of nationals from high migration countries, with Nigeria frequently on that list. Leaked documents from the first Trump administration, which was in 2016, revealed guidance that encouraged officers to flag entire demographics rather than review cases individually. Is that not discriminatory? What Nigerians face today seems to be a continuation, if not an escalation, of that troubling practice. Premium Time says the Ministry of Foreign Affairs must urgently respond by issuing a public statement, lodging a formal protest, and demanding clarity. Failure to act diminishes Nigeria's dignity and leaves its citizens vulnerable to arbitrary treatment. I agree. Naijaman's perspective agrees. Diplomats owe it to Nigerians to press for transparency, insist on accountability, and defend the rights of those who have abided by every rule, yet now find themselves punished without cause. My own is, what about the visa fees? I keep on saying I'm not reading anything here, anything about visa fees being refunded. People have paid for a visa, you've issued the visa to them, and you've just come to say Title 22 Code of Federal Regulations Section 4.41.122 as the legal basis, vaguely stating new information became available after the visa was issued. I have to go back to this because this is what they are saying is the reason why that visa was revoked. But this is nonsense. This is nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. It hasn't been clearly explained as to why that visa was cancelled. Let's keep going. At its core, this issue is more about visas. It's more than visas. It's about fairness, reciprocity, and human dignity. Nigerians deserve to know why their travel rights are being revoked. If the US government has legitimate grounds, those grounds must be clearly stated. Cryptic references to new information are not enough between two nations that claim to be partners. This is a quiet crisis with devastating human cost. Careers are disrupted, families are torn apart, dreams are deferred, and dignity is diminished. Nigerians remain stranded in cruel limbo, their plans destroyed, and their future uncertain. Here's my question. When are we going to fix our country? When are we going to fix our country? If this happened to people in Dubai, I don't think they're going to be complaining. We need to fix our country. All these things happening, all this mess that we're hearing, US today, EU tomorrow, UK next tomorrow. We need to fix that country. Guys, please subscribe, like, share, comment. On this one, I want to hear your comments. Are you affected? Do you know anybody that is affected? What are your thoughts? Does anybody have more information apart from this vague Title 22 Code of Federal Regulations Section 41.122 as a legal basis? Why is this happening? Is Trump targeting Nigeria as a country? Is this just in line to curb migration? But these are not illegal immigrants. These are people who have been granted legal visas. So why were legal visas now revoked? That is not clear. It's very disappointing. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you as usual on the next video.